Means we have on the line Eskom's Chief Operating Officer, Jan Oberholzer. Very good evening to you, Mr. Oberholzer, and thank you so much for speaking to us. When did Eskom decide that it was time to move into stage 6?
Evening, Tsepiso. It was about an hour and a half ago. So we've been closely monitoring throughout the day the state of the system and specifically the excessive rains that we have received in Mpumalanga. And so this decision then was made about an hour or so ago.
So when you talk about the excessive rains, where does that come into the mix that should push us to a never-entered-before stage?
Unfortunately, yes, because of excessive rains, and this obviously has a very negative impact on coal handling. Then, Kriel power station, Kriel mine was flooded, the early hours, early this morning. So we couldn't get any coal from the mine into Kriel. So we shut down 2 units and we had to reduce load on some of it. So this is just to give you an idea of what the excess rain actually meant to us. On 2 of our other power stations, the power stations actually had excessive flooding inside the power station. So all of this obviously brought about the fact that we, just due to flooding, had a loss of 4,000 megawatts during the day, and that necessitated then, unfortunately, that we're going into this uncharted territory to go to stage 6 load shedding.
Isn't it ironic, Mr. Oberholzer, that at some point Eskom was lamenting the shortage of water, especially for its coal power stations, to be able to allow it to put more power onto the grid?
Yeah, noted, Tsepiso, noted.
Okay, let's talk about the technical problems at Medupi. What is the problem there?
You're quite well informed. What happened is inside the power station we have two cables that is running to the coal conveyor system in the power station, feeding the inclines and the conveyors up into the stacks and then into the power station. We unfortunately, for whatever reason, we don't know yet, the investigation is ongoing, we lost both the electrical feeders that is feeding power supply and firing up the conveyors in the inclines up into the power station, taking coal on the conveyors into the power station. So that took us quite a long time to resolve. So eventually, I would guess about an hour ago, we managed to successfully get one of the cables, livened up. And so, as we speak now, we have started to convey coal again into the power station.
Earlier on in the year, or just recently, Eskom announced that it was expanding its load shedding plan to 8 stages. Does that mean there's a possibility of us actually reaching stage 8?
So, the risk remains. However, we don't hope and we don't believe at this point in time. We trust that we will not get there. So, to go to stage 6 is significant for ourselves, and we're extremely disappointed, obviously, going to stage 6. But yes, we have up to stage 8 at this point in time, should it require. But it's important to understand that we are not taking these decisions lightly, and it's all based on the integrity of the system. So, because we can never compromise the integrity of the system.
Speaking of integrity, Mr. Oberholzer, how should South Africans trust you as Eskom? At some point in the year, you said we definitely have no plans of load shedding during this holiday period or even for the rest of the year, and yet here we are.
Unfortunately, this is where we find ourselves. We cannot wish it away. But it's important to understand that during the whole of the winter period, we had no load shedding. But unfortunately, we find ourselves where we are now. We've got a system that is unpredictable, unreliable. So unfortunately, over the last 10 days or so, we've breakdown maintenance, we've lost quite a number of units. As we speak, they are slowly but surely starting to we're getting them back to service. But however, the majority of them has been due to boiler tube leaks. And when you have a boiler tube leak and you have a breakdown, it takes some time to fix the tube leaks and then to bring it back. So, yes, we're disappointed.
Practically, what does stage 6 mean? You wanted 4,000 megawatts off the grids with stage 4. How much are you looking to get back into the power grid with the stage 6?
We are now looking for 6,000 megawatts. And at this point in time, it is up until 11 o'clock tonight, but we will assess the situation going forward.
So how long at a time should we expect the lights to be out?
Look, it all depends, and I cannot sit here and tell you a customer in that suburb, this is how it's going to, this is how long this customer is going to be without power. But what you can expect that you're going to be without power in 24 hours for 1 or 2 or 3 periods, and the duration will be dependent on what the redistributors, whatever the model that they use in their block.
All right, thank you very much. Eskom's Chief Operating Officer, Jan Oberholzer. It's breaking news. We'll continue looking at it throughout the program. Aldrin?
And let's move over to this developing story. There's a heavy police presence around the Johannesburg High Court. This is after